All right. Hot Breath the Verse. Welcome back to the Hot Breath Podcast. I am your host, comedian Joel Byers. This is the show where you learn comedy from the pros. If you're interested in getting involved in more of these Q&As, go to our Facebook group, search Hot Breath Comedy Network, and you can start getting involved in more Q&As. But today's guest, his resume would require the entire show length. So let's just bring him in. Give it up for the one and only Tommy Davidson, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome him to the Hot Breath of Verse. Thought I was Ellen. Oh, yeah.
Second.
I've heard that before. You know? I've gotten that before.
Yeah. You had the whole Ellen hair thing, and then the suit, and hey, you know what I mean?
I'll take her money for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was actually my wife. She roasts me, and that's one of her favorite roasts is saying that I look like Ellen. So you're in good company there.
That's really wife.
Isn't that love?
You know what I mean? That is love. You know what I mean? Sheesh. I thought I was wrong. Cool.
I think she just wants the money as well.
I like her. Yeah, I mean, duh.
So what I want to jump into first here is, as I'm adjusting the banner here, this is actually our second time doing Zoom, so I'm being very professional. And you
might as well jump. All right. Sorry, you said you're going to jump.
So we're jumping, baby. And I want to jump right into your book because this is, for people listening, Kevin Hart released a book a few years ago that a lot of comics were talking about. I feel like if you're a comedian or a comedy fan, but as a comedian, this is a must. This should be on your essential reading list because the journey not only takes us from, just being a baby that was found in the dumpster to becoming a entertainment superstar. Yes, it's called Living in Color, and we will have links to all of that in the descriptions. But what I enjoyed most about it was getting into your mindset around being a student of the game, which is what this whole show is about, being a student of comedy. And it was fun to hear you talk about coming up with Chris Rock and him opening for you, but then also you performing between Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy at the Comedy Store. But the one I want to jump into is your experience performing with Jim Carrey on In Living Color, because you were talking about it would take him like 4 hours to do a sketch, and his attention to detail, and you two were just so magnetic in scenes together. So could you take us into more detail about the experience just working with him one-on-one and seeing his process and how it affected yours and your overall journey?
Okay, basically he was the magnetic one.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, no one wanted to do his sketches because he'd make you stick around for 4 hours.
Okay.
While he went over the details of the sketch. Now, our stuff is our stuff. We all know what we're doing, and we all love to work together and stuff like that. But Jim actually worked on another level. He was more, very Picasso-like about what he was doing. And anybody who does that in any field, reaps success on another level. And I was really beneficial to witness it. But not only that, but it was just fun. It was just fun because the payoff was big. The payoff was the funniest stuff you ever want to see. And so, every cast member on that show, I learned something from. The thing that I learned from him was just his persistence to get the right result. The persistence to get the right result. And the right result was something crazy that you couldn't have thought of ever. And his career pretty much parallels that, because look at the variation of movies that he's done and the variation of things that he's done. It springs out of that type of thinking. And that's the one thing that turned me on about being in that atmosphere.
And in terms of like the detail, because you being a student and studying, yeah. What else? What other things? Oh no, there's an echo. On your. Oh, is my audio on your computer?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh no, I didn't know if the echo
And
was
it
coming
looks-
from your computer.
Yeah, mine. No, I don't know if it is or not. I don't know how to gauge it. But is it still?
Let me start talking and. No.
It's wrong. It's your fault.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's always the white man's fault. Come on now.
No,
That's
no,
why
I was talking from your wife's point. I was talking from your wife's point of view. You know?
Oh, okay. Come on, I'm white and woke here. I know. TikTok for us.
I can see the woke. Are you kidding me?
And another thing I wanted to get into before we get into the questions here is you talking about your relationship with Sinclair Jones and how he had a very linear 10-year plan for your success, and it all played out. As someone who's now 10 years into my career and now looking to start planning like specific things, like what did that plan actually look like, and how were you executing it on every step of the way?
It was real specific.
Okay.
It was jotted down on paper. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 15 years? And where do you see yourself in 20 years? And then everything that you want to accomplish in linear order. So the first 5 years was to become, it actually happened faster than 20. It happened by 15, maybe even 12. Mm-hmm. But, stand-up comedy, to become a nationally known stand-up comic first and foremost, and a good one. How do you become a good comic? And what's good? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, this, because comic is perception, right? No, comedy is technique. Comedy is technique. So to become a good comic is to be able to do all the things basic to what a comic does in function. So able to present your point of view, able to deliver that, able to deliver it in an atmosphere where there's a lot of distractions, able to come up with your ideas, able to list your ideas, okay, and have them executed, okay? You can work abstract with your ideas, but if you want to get to the point where you want to present your ideas as a stand-up comic, you're going to have to take those ideas that you have and put them in order to put them into a time frame to shoot a special or to do comedy that's ready for TV. If your comedy's ready for TV, then you can go to that next level. Maybe even film, a stand-up film. But this is stand-up comedy we're talking about. You see? So to become a nationally known stand-up comic, there's a lot other stuff involved than just your act. Now, how do you do that? You work at clubs. You work consistently at clubs. It's changed over time because we didn't have the internet. You become a club comic and you get known. You can't get nationally known unless you're playing comics around the country. So if you're not able to play comics around the country, what are you supposed to do? Right? Well, you probably would go to the part of the country that supports that business. If I was a dairy farmer, I probably would do better in Wisconsin than in El Paso, Texas. Because that's dairy country. So what is comic country? Where are all the opportunities for the comics? New York and LA. So putting your face in the place gives you that next potential of becoming national. And then there's all these other subsidiary businesses that are involved. There's management, there's agency, there's publicity, there's all those things. But it all comes down to your act because, hey, when you get all that attention and you do become national, it would be good to have an act. But not just have an act. It would be really good to have an act that's really good. Now that's kind of changed with the internet because you don't really have to have an act that's really good. All you got to do is have a bunch of people push a button that says like. You see? Whether they like it or not. As long as they push that button, then you can get a million likes on something that really ain't that funny, but it looks like a lot of people like it. Because there's this system where millions can like it, and then the people that make things happen go, he's the one we want. You know what I mean? Or she's the one we want. But a comic will look at it and you'll go, wait a second, he's reading a poem on the toilet while taking a crap. What's so funny about that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to stand-up,
yes,
you're sitting in front of elementary about stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy, you're standing up in front of people who don't know you, more than 10 usually, you know, and they're looking right at you, and they all are from different backgrounds and all have a very, very, very intricate mind and values and morals, and you have to make them all laugh at the same time, over and over again. You see? So if I come off the internet and I never heard a laugh, but I'm only getting someone to push a button that says like, then if you don't laugh, I might think you don't like me. You know?
But you say in your book that the particular makes it universal. And that's how you've been able to entertain so many different diverse audiences. So what is that particular?
Well, that particular is just being able to understand the nature of things and being able to convey that to a group of people.
Okay.
Like, you know, for instance, you know, we've all seen a dog, right? Most people by the time they're at the club, they've seen a dog, you know, but do they know a difference between a dog that bites or not? Okay. This is comedy. Okay. All right. Because I'm showing you the particulars, right? So I'll give you my experience on a dog that bites and a dog that doesn't. So I'll give you my take, all right? I think that a dog that doesn't bite is the one that acts like it bites, okay? Because it's in its bark. So the dog that doesn't bite got to give you more bark to convince that he's a biter. So usually a dog that bites is you know, okay? That is a dog that looks like it bites. Okay?
Uh-huh.
All right. You can actually you see how much is going into the bark? You see you see that? There's a lot. Yeah. He's trying to convince me. I could even break his pattern by just kind of going, come over here. You can break the pattern and get to it. And it'll start over.
So it's showing the audience as opposed to telling them also helps.
Right. Now I'll tell you about a dog that does bite. A dog that does bite doesn't have to bark. It knows it bites. You have to find out. Usually a dog that bites doesn't bark at all because he doesn't want to bite you because he knows he can't help it. And he knows he'll most likely get hurt if he bites the hell out of you. So he'll try to kind of warn you as you walk over. I'll bite you. Actually, a dog that bites kind of talks. It kind of tries to let you know, hey, man, you're about to get bitten. So as I walk up on a dog that bites, he doesn't bark. He more kind of talks. He's even trying to tell you. Okay? A dog that bites doesn't even look at you. He looks the other way. Okay? Because it's hoping you don't come over. It might look for a second to see if he's going to bite your ass. Okay? See? Stand up. I showed you something essential, something that everybody knows about a dog, and took you into a intricate similarity that everyone knows Maybe not intellectually, but innately and instinctually. You see, stand-up is more than it actually looks like. It looks like you can get up there, hey man, my cousin, I was walking down the street one day, and da 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 da, and da 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 da. It's not really that. There's so many dimensions of it, But another one of the dimensions is setup. See, I gave you setup. Hey, dog bites. Which dog bites? This dog don't bite. That dog do bite. Get it? Laugh. Setup. So becoming that comedian, and that's different for everybody, Dave Chappelle started somewhere, Chris Rock started somewhere, Eddie Murphy started somewhere, Richard Pryor started somewhere, Red Fox started somewhere, George Carlin started somewhere, and usually the places that they started are the places that I started.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really lucky. I started at the Comedy Store. I started at Laugh Factory. I started at people are gonna get mad at me, but I started at the clubs. I started at Catch a Rising Star in New York. I started, I started at the Apollo.
Comedy Act Theater.
Comedy Act Theater. There you go. See, the guy is black. Okay, although if you looked at him at the outset for a couple of seconds, he looks like Ellen when you first see him. You know what I mean? Trust me, he's black. Okay, all right. Okay. Or he kind of looks like. Yeah, or he kind of looks like just a little bit when you see him, Ted Koppel. But that, you might want to Google that name. So, hi, I'm Ted Koppel, and welcome to Nightline. Okay, all right. It's a little like Obama. Hey, I'm Obama, and welcome to Nightline. So we all are kind of, related in that way. But 5 years took 3. You see, to get across the country to a place where they did comedy, to hone it, and to finally get a television show like In Living Color, which is going to increase my stand-up visibility. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And 2 birds with 1 stone. Stand-up, TV. That was the next 5 years. See? Was to become a major TV star. So that came together, which eventually led to doing movies. So a year after I was doing In Living Color, I did my first movie, Strictly Business, was followed by 10, 11, 12, 13 more movies. There's the movie part. After that, directing, writing, authoring, producing. Back to dub. A deer, that is, a female deer. Raise a Drop of Golden Sun, or Martin Lawrence's sister. Her name is Ray Lawrence.
Oh.
Me, that's the name I call myself, right? For a long, long way to come with racism in America, right?
Preach.
So, I don't know what's.
Let him use you.
So
let him use you.
Yeah. So I guess we reap to sow, right? La, right, is like Slick Rick, Lottie Dottie. We like to party. We don't cause trouble. We don't hurt anybody. We're just the men that's on the mic. We rock the house. We rock the house. That's him and Dougie Fresh, right? And it all goes back to dough, which none of us have because of what's going on with the whole COVID-19 thing.
All right.
See how I took that?
Let's get into some fan questions. Yes, I saw what you did there.
It was all sang by a very skinny white chick, really, really beautiful musical.
All right. First question from fans. No, this is great. This
And
is
that
great,
brings
Tommy.
us back to do.
Yes. So Doe.
I forgot I'm talking to I forgot that I'm talking to a post-millennial. Go ahead, man.
I know you're talking about Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
I was. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
I almost forgot I was talking to a post-millennial.
Oh, post-millennial. Oh, yeah, we out here. I
post-millennial.
look 12, but I'm 32.
I look 12, but I'm 32.
Right. I'm talking to a post-millennial. Dig it? There's only that much of a gap between you guys, and the gap is, you know what In Living Color is, and both of you guys know who Ed, Ed, and Eddie is. So that's the
Yes. And the first question is actually about In Living Color.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
In Living Color.
In Living Color.
Oh, okay.
It is from Robin Sutton Clark, who asks, what was your audition process for In Living Color, and did you think it would grow as a big cult following as it did when you first signed on for it?
Okay, that was more than one question, but I'll answer. My audition was terrible to me, and I didn't even want to do the show. I turned the show down, and that had to do with just a lot of disappointments that had happened to me previous to getting an offer to do the audition. No, don't let things keep you from taking chances, and I almost did that. My agent talked me into going and auditioning for this show that changed my life. You know what I mean? So I was asked to do improv when I first went in, and I didn't know what improv was. Although I've been doing it all my life, it had never been pointed out to me. Jim Carrey wins, the executive producer, and the his partner, Tamara Rawit, and the casting put me through a whole, maze of different scenarios. You're a Puerto Rican cab driver and you're drunk and you want him out of your cab. I know I'm going to take you nowhere because I had trouble at home. If you want to really want to go away, I take you. But I'm very sad to do. So they were like, okay, thank you. And we'll see you later. I said I didn't get it. There was no yay, laughing in the room. But they had a stand-up comedy audition. 30 of the hottest comics in LA at the time, Jim Carrey, you name them, were all there. I went on last. And I was happy. The happiest man you could ever find. Because I'm like Michael Jordan. Okay? I practice so hard, it comes natural. I'm like Bruce Lee. Okay? I practice so hard, it comes natural. I experience a natural naturalness and an unnatural naturalness. And I'm last. So I stand outside and I don't watch any of the comedians because I don't want anything in my head but what I'm thinking. And I go on stage, kill it. Not easily, but with what I know. And I got a standing ovation. And Keenan said, you got the show. And it was a very proud moment for me, actually. We all got together to do the show. And I saw all the people that I was doing the clubs with. Jim, David, Damon. I mean, all the badasses were on the show. And we knew if this thing ever gets on the air, it's over. It's like taking a team with Tom Brady, Lynn Swan, taking an all-star team and saying, what do you think they'll do in the NFL? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We knew it. We knew what was going to happen. But it took a long time to happen. We didn't think it'd ever get on the air. I mean, when me and Jim saw each other, we were like, oh my God, we're going to be working together. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It was crazy.
And
I think I answered both of his questions.
Yeah, you did. You nailed it. And it actually kind of flowed into the next.
It actually kind of flowed into the next
dream team.
When we're thinking of that dream team.
You're mixing? You're mixing now?
See, Eric.
Nice.
See, we out here.
I'm Ted Copper. I'm Ted Copper. Right. I'm Ted Copper. Right. I'm Ted Copper. Okay, go ahead.
So, Yoshi So asks, can you, the Waynes, and Jim Carrey do a reunion?
Yeah, anytime you guys want us to.
I'll text him.
I'll text him.
Yeah. I'll send him a TikTok. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's digging for gold, babe. That's digging for gold. All right. If no one ever ate boogers, then how does everybody know they're salty? Anyway. Okay, so Right. So I forgot the question.
It was, can you, the Waynes, and Jim Carrey do a reunion?
And Jim Carrey do a reunion?
That would be really fun. Yes, we can. Will we? I don't know. But I do believe, now this is subjective, I do believe that we will. I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable. I think it's necessary too. It's going to become necessary. You know, it's always necessary for Batman to usually show up after it's all going down. You know what I mean? Or like the X-Men. You know, when it starts getting too heavy, that black jet comes over, man. They land. Beast jumps out. You know, Storm. Keenan Ivory Wayans comes with his wheelchair coming down the slope. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we come out of that jet, and it's time. It's time to get down. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like the reunion between like Kenobi and Anakin. You know, don't make me kill you. You know, and all that stuff. You know.
Awesome.
That's for the Star Wars fans, by the way.
Awesome.
So let's keep jumping along here. Oh, he says, hell yeah, that would make me so happy.
He says, hell yeah, that would make me so happy.
And people are laughing at Ted Koppel. So
people are laughing at Ted Koppel.
Take those comments with a grain of salt there.
Take those comments with a grain of salt there. They don't all know everything.
Can I ask you a question about the guy who asked the question?
Yes.
Yes.
Is he a robot? Just kidding. All right, go ahead.
He's an alien. He's one of the aliens.
He's an alien.
From the alien abduction chapter.
Nice.
That y'all have to get the book to know about.
No, I know exactly who he is. He's that alien driving the old Corvette in the Butterfinger commercial. Somebody gonna put their finger on my butt finger.
No, he's the Grey Poupon guy in the limousine.
No. He's the guy sitting next to Snoop in the new insurance commercial.
He's Shaq in the Buick.
Where'd that come from?
Oh, he missed that one. Oh my! I just bombed on a yes and with Tommy Davidson.
That was Snoop.
No, but Shaq did a Buick commercial.
Wait a second. No. Hold on. I digress. You're right. He is in the Buick. Right?
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
If you want to get insurance and save on time, I'm with this big Nick all the time.
The general. Yeah.
Notice I didn't say the whole word.
Me neither.
Always with Shaq, and I love it. He goes, if you want to save insurance and save some time, I'm with this big all the time.
That's where I draw the line. I can't yes and that.
I can't yes and that.
Hold the line. Ding, 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 ding. Comedy's not always on time. No. And hold the line. Comedy's not always on time. Down. I asked Jimmy Fallon what happened. All right, but go ahead.
All right, we'll try to get to as many of your questions as can, kids. We have a few more minutes here. The next one from June Colson.
Joke.
Oh, I know, but see, there's a slight delay, so then like we'll jump like we're trying to play double Dutch, but we each only have one leg.
Right, and I'm looking for an immediate response. As a comic, you want that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm but as an adult, I don't get always what I want.
But I'm here for you, Tommy. I'm here.
Tommy.
All right.
I'm here.
That's why I approached you, man.
So the next one, this is a good one here. From June asks, over the years, what has surprised you most about the entertainment industry?
how mediocrity has been accepted as a norm.
All right.
Everything went down after that answer. What happened?
It was a mediocre answer.
It was a mediocre answer.
Okay. Hold on. All right. Come here. Say hi. Really quickly.
Hey.
All right. The dog's foot was stuck in a. Anyway.
So yeah, the overall mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
I hope that was a mediocre moment. That was real.
That was beautiful. I wish I
beautiful.
had my dog here, but he's with my wife. Let's move on to the next one.
I go off screen. Wasn't that classic though? I go off screen and the dog screams. Come on.
Yeah, I actually didn't think there was a dog. I thought you were just now doing a bit about a crying dog versus like a not crying dog. So back to a little stand-up here. This is from trainer Steve. He says, in terms of skill, when did you see your biggest jumps as a comedian, and what do you attribute to those jumps?
Comparing my stuff to others that I was seeing. Not comparing my stuff. Not comparing my material, but comparing my technique to others that I was seeing. You know, I came up in the Comedy Store when Roseanne was cutting her teeth, when Adam Sandler was cutting his teeth, when Seinfeld was cutting his teeth, when I mean, you can name them all. In the main room and up in the belly room and in the small room, over at the Comedy Store and at the Laugh Factory, and watching these people work. Jim, when I first got there, watching Jim work, and just watching these people work. Before they had TV shows. Tom Hanks, before he was Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. You know what I'm saying? Watching them before their big success, before Jay Leno was on the Tonight Show, as a host. When he was a stand-up doing 5 minutes on there and warming up at the Comedy Store. Or Sam Kinison when he first came to town. Everybody going, there's this guy, this fat white dude with curly hair, man, he is killing it, And on and on and on. That's when I started looking at the different things that people were doing and what they were able to do. Personally, what really came to mind for me was I wanted to understand how I could do more. How would it be if I could take a little bit of every technique and put them into one technique? And that's my stand-up. So I took the rudiments of every piece of what I saw, not material. Okay? Not material. Technique. So Carlin's ability to be able to follow through with an intellectual idea, set it up, make you see it, and then get a laugh off of it. Jim Carrey to be able to physically show you something so powerful and so in-depth and so specific that you laugh. Chris Rock being able to take something political and being able to put such a shine on it that it's hilarious and true. Roseanne, just funny about who she is as a person. Okay? Just watching all these things. Charlie Fleischer was the voice of Roger Rabbit, who's a brilliant comedian. When I watched his show and I would watch him perform, you want to go back and read a book. He can take anything and make it comedy. Metamorphosis, Japanese Shogun era. I mean, who does that? So I was able to rein in all of them and then express myself. So I'll make it more simple for the person who asked the question. In martial arts, there's different styles. There's judo, there's aikido, there's karate, there's kempo, there's all these different styles, kung fu, and all of them have different techniques. If I was to take a small rudiment or a small basic from each one of them and put them into one art form, what would that be? And there's two words, Tommy Davidson.
Well, let's land this plane here,
my friend.
Exactly. And so there won't be any delay, and everybody can hear this. Listen closely. Carry on my wayward son. Okay? And what I say to that is, I'm sorry we're not in Kansas anymore. Kansas City won the Super Bowl.
So,
Negro at quarterback.
So, as some closing advice here, my favorite part about your book, which everyone needs to go get, it is a must-read for any comedy fan and comedian. Because you're also a student of the game. Oh, audiobook! I bought the audiobook.
In case they don't feel like reading, and they just want to put on the headphones, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of binging, on The Boys, which is hot. You've seen The Boys, it's cool. A lot of good stuff on TV besides Pimple Poppers. But audiobook too. What do you think about the audiobook? Because in my voice, that was hard to do.
I loved it because you were reading it. Some people don't read their audiobook.
Some people don't read their audiobook.
I'm glad you did.
Okay.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess it should be known. I read it myself.
So what? Do you have any closing advice for us as a comedian that's watching this? What advice do we need to hear right now?
Never do an audiobook because it's really hard. It's like taking an aspirin and trying to put it in a wild lion's butthole with your hands. Okay. Besides that, be on stage. Don't mess around, man. Be on stage 7 nights a week. 7 nights a week. It's like wanting to go to the NFL and not doing a push-up or something. Mm-hmm. Not being willing to train. Train 7 nights a week, no matter what city you're in. And if it comes apparent to you that you can't do 7 nights a week in that city, then go to another city where you can get 7 nights a week. Be on that stage 7 nights a week. And I believe that the comedy God will take you by your hand and start to put stuff into your hard drive.
Well, we have a lot to process.
Mm-hmm. I tell comics that all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what the next comment is? They go, well, besides that. And the real thing I'm saying is that without that, you can still be a stand-up comedy. I mean, without that, you can still be a stand-up comedian. But if you want a great one, it's up to you to really put in the work that it takes to get to the level where something great is effortless because you're not doing it because it's great. You're doing it because you love it.
Tommy Davidson, thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you.
Do you want to let people know where they can buy the book? Follow you, support you, all that jazz?
Or can I tell them where they can't? Oh, they already know that. All right, so Amazon would be the main place to go. That'd be the main place to go.
Okay.
Yep, main place to go. And if you find a Barnes & Nobles that's open, tell me, because they got a Starbucks in it and they got a lot of pastries and stuff. But I haven't seen that yet. So.
All right, well, hot breath of verse. Tommy was so generous with his time. Go get his book. support
Go
him.
get his book.
I'm telling you, like,
Support him.
this
I'm
is a
telling
must
you,
read
like,
for all comics. Like,
this is a must read
it
for
was a
all
game
comics.
changer
Like,
for me.
It was a game changer for me.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Tommy Davidson, for being on
Thank you
Hot
so
Breath
much,
Podcast.
Tommy Davidson, for being on Hot Breath Podcast.
We'll see
Thank
you
you,
again
man.
soon, my friend.
We'll see you again soon, my friend.
You got it. And you're in Georgia, right?
Yeah, we're in Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
we're
you
in
enjoy
Atlanta.
this?
Yeah. Did you enjoy this?
I had a good time. Yeah. Anytime somebody's asking me about me, I'm really happy.
Typical comic.
I'm really happy.
Typical comic.
Yeah. I'm really happy. It's an
All right.
individual sport.
All right. Well, this is definitely a benchmark
All
in
right.
our
Well, this
show.
is definitely
I'm
a
sure we'll have you
benchmark in
back
our
again
show.
sometime.
I'm sure we'll have you back again sometime.
Anytime you call, I'm there. Because what I am first, all these things, I'm a stand-up comedian first.
I love it. Me too, my
Like a
man.
Marine.
Love it. Me too, my man.
I'm like a Marine. I'm only concerned about three things: God, core, country.
You served your duty today, my friend.
You served your duty today, my friend.
No, I meant music. That is country music.
A white joke to close it. I get it.
To close it. I get it.
Come on, it's Georgia. Okay, it's a whole Southern Caucasian based, right? It's a whole Southern Caucasian base.
I mean, not in Atlanta.
based
Like,
on-
I mean, not Atlanta.
where I started comedy, I was like the only white guy in the zip
I was like
code.
the only white guy in the zip code.
No, but I'm just saying in general as a state.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
widespread.
We're pretty
Caucasian,
widespread.
Country kind of culture, that is based in the genocide of the Native American Indians in that area. Just kidding. But I'm not. That was not nice, huh?
No, it's I'm aware. I'm aware of what shade of white I am. I'm all lives matter white.
It's all lives matter white.
I offend myself.
Hey, man. No, you just don't. That's what makes me unique. You just don't see comics that tell jokes about sovereign Native American.
You could be that guy.
Could be that guy.
I'm working on it.
All right. Everyone's saying thanks.
Everyone's saying
you two are the best. Thanks for all the laughs.
You two are the best. Thanks for
Best
all the laughs.
interview ever.
Best interview ever.
Yeah, a lot of good feedback.
Yeah,
here.
a lot of good feedback here.
Awesome.
Good. That
Perfect.
counts these days.
Awesome.
Yeah, it
Perfect.
does. And I'll be sure
Yeah, it
people
does.
get your
I
book
gotta
and reach
look
out
on
to
there,
you.
right?
People get your
I
book
can
and
go
reach out
online
to
and
you.
look at the comments, no?
Mm-hmm. This is in our
This is
Facebook group.
This is in
And
our
then it's also going to be posted on
Okay.
YouTube
And then it's also
and
gonna
as a
be on
podcast.
YouTube and as a podcast.
Wow, you got a good show going.
I'm trying to make it, Tommy. This is my way in.
Man.
I
Hey,
appreciate
man,
it.
this looks like this is
Appreciate it.
the best way in right now are like the only ways in. That's pretty cool for you guys. Hey, I got a motto for you. Once you get to the top, an interviewer will ask you how you got to the top, and you're going to say, you wouldn't let me in at the bottom.
Ooh.
Thank you, man.
All right, man. Tommy Davidson, have a good day, buddy.
Tommy Davidson, have a good day, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too. Thanks,
Happy
Tommy.
trails.
All right, you too. Thanks, Tommy.
All right.